let me ask you, what comes after red light?
Is this a trick question, or?
Nah, it's fine. You pretty much just gave me what I needed to know. I just needed like a response, you know?
So it's like any response would do, like just noises. Like if I had barked in response, you would take that as okay, this is good research for me. Thank you for this data. I'll compile this for my comedy routine.
So welcome everybody to the newest installment of the Terrorisk podcast. We got a lot of news for you folks. I mean, a lot of shit went down. I don't know if you guys heard for like the 5 of you that follow us, but I don't know how else to say this, but our co-host Jay Sans, our beloved co-host, killed himself. He's dead. So this is going to be our last episode. And
I'm glad he's dead. You know, he was kind of a dick.
I mean, do you think from across the grave he would mind if we like kept it going? You know, like, do you think? I think
that doesn't matter now, does it? I mean, you know, we can come up with whatever excuse. Yes, he would have loved for us to do this and carry on without him. Because
yeah, that's what I'm choosing.
He wouldn't want him to drag us down.
You know what? There is one side of Jay that would say we should stop, and there is another side of Jay that we should keep going. I'm going to choose to listen to the latter.
I'm sure everybody has both of those sides. I mean, people are very multifaceted and complicated creatures. You know.
For sure.
Ideally.
Yo, dude, I am I'm really happy to like catch up with you like this, dude. It's been too long. It feels like it's been too long, but it really hasn't. I mean, since the last time we did like a full episode, but
yeah, I feel like it's been too short of a time. I feel like
wow.
Hey.
Okay. All right, I see how it is.
Nice to run into you again so soon.
Hello. hello. Damn, Cain, that kind of hurt, but you know what? I could roll with the punches. I know your own little.
I'll just say JK, and that diffuses everything, right?
Yeah. All right, so
yeah, that's my favorite word.
I just want to extend my sympathies to all the ladies out there. I mean, I'm sure none of you are actually listening to this, but in case one or two of you are, you guys are going through some tough shit right now. I mean, your right to an abortion is in peril. I mean, your ability
in the wake
to
of Jay's death, I'm sure you're already grieving because Jay is known and beloved by all women all over the world.
Jay was good to women. I think Jay is a stand-up guy as far as women are concerned. You know,
Jay's still around. I mean, he's in the ground now, but he's still there. Like, what do you consider like
posthumously?
When can you stop using pronouns? Like, at what point in the corpse's decaying process do you refer to it as an it instead of a he or a her?
Never. You got to keep the memory alive, man. You gotta.
I feel like after a certain point, you just refer to the gravestone as like he or her. Like, put the flowers in the gravestone. It's like, wow, the pretty uniform gravestone carved to my liking. You know, they sort of like put in their preferences, but I had a few creative liberties here, so I'm gonna call this my dearest beloved parted. Whereas like the actual corpse, the carcass is 6 feet under.
Dude, if you died, would you want if you died soon, would you want me to attend your funeral the same way we're going to attend Jay's funeral? Because like we got to travel for that shit.
I don't care. I'll be dead. Like, what does it matter?
Word. Well, to pay our respects, we're certainly going to Jay's funeral. We got to fly all the way to California. He chose to be buried in his favorite place in the world, which is California, and I'm actually looking forward to the trip. I mean, don't get me wrong, like the context of it is terrible, but I've never been to California, and I'll do the whole sad being part, like the sad part of it and everything, but while I'm there, I think you and I could get some sightseeing done. We could do some shopping,
and on Jay's behalf, he'll use part of his his inheritance that he's going to leave to us. Because, of course, we were his best friends, but it was like such an untimely demise that he didn't have time to write us into his will. So, I mean, we're just on his behalf, we're going to pay for our own plane tickets with his bank account money.
And I'm sure he would. I'm sure he. What do you want to send his family members the invoice? Like, by the way, we're sort of his like best fucking friends in the world.
We'll be staying at the airport Hilton. We're renting out the entire hotel, and we're gonna have many drinks. I'm not gonna give you an estimate because I just don't know.
a few sex workers, as you Californians like to call it, will be there. Not for us. It's for all the other random people that are going to be invited.
It's for your community.
Yeah, it's for the community.
The economy.
They're communal hookers.
It's for the economy.
They're communal hookers sponsored by Terrorisk.
I like to consider myself a freelance economist. So like sometimes I'll burn money just to reduce inflation.
That's literally, you don't have to do that, dude. The Fed does that for us. Like, that's their job, pretty much.
Well, they don't do that literally.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think to get rid of like actual like
They probably just like stack it all up on a barge somewhere and send it off to China. Like hope it gets like hit by an iceberg at some point along the way.
You know, like even money, the value of money does kind of like rely on context, right? Like if it's like some like old ass bill from like 1800s, like would that even still be like tenable? Like would that still be good?
I think you would have some, like you take it to an antique place or take it to like a government building and be like, okay, how can what is the conversion rate for this, this outdated currency here? And I don't know, they might give you something.
What would Larry David do is what we should say in that
you might have
really.
a better chance getting more money out of it, like with a private market, selling to private buyers who just want like old coins and stuff. And what would Larry David do? In what situation?
No, like I feel like that's a Larry David scenario, He comes across an old bill and he's like, I don't know, maybe he tries to buy something retarded with it, like a whatever, and
he says like, this is still good currency. It's like he like cites the local ordinance. The state chapter cites right here, according to Article 2, Section 4, Clause 3, that this Starbucks right here has to take this currency, and then like the employees refuse. And he like sues the building and gets everybody fired, and then he has to take over the building, and now he's in charge of 2 coffee places, Starbucks and Cafe Larry's. So he's like competing with himself.
And he makes that like awkward face.
Kind of like a fusion of like Seinfeld surrealism, like at least in the later seasons, and Curb. Like I don't think something that wacky would happen in Curb now. Like now it's just just recapping a lot of his stuff.
Did you see that one episode of Curb where like in the show Larry David, the director, was doing the reunion for Seinfeld, even though like an actual reunion for Seinfeld never fucking happened in real life. Within the show, Curb.
I've seen the entire series many times. Like I'm aware of this. Yeah.
Damn, my dude, you're
It's a very popular show. It's like one of the most popular shows on HBO, and people pretend like they've stumbled upon something secret that nobody's aware of.
No, I don't feel like I stumbled upon it at all.
Seinfeld's the most successful sitcom of all time financially, and then Curb is obviously the spiritual successor to that, and you expect like Curb to be like, oh, yeah, I watch Curb Your Enthusiasm. I'm a bit neurotic myself.
I feel like Curb Your Enthusiasm was gifted to me, was like shown to me by the smartest member of this podcast.
Who, me?
Well, what was once a tripod. Yeah, you Cain. Like it's clearly established that you're the fucking smartest, most well-read, the best taste.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, but I mean, this was confirmed. It was set in stone by my top fan, Amy, who may be biased against you. So I don't know, maybe. Yeah, we might be competing.
It's because she's racist and I'm Asian, yo. I think she's accusing me of racism. I think she's projecting.
She's half Asian, so maybe she feels ashamed of her mixed blood. Is that still considered a mulatto? If you're like half Asian, half white, or is that like a separate term?
I think the proper term for half Asian, half white is hapa. You want to hear something really funny?
Mm-hmm.
So there's like this whole subreddit like dedicated to being like half Asian and half white. It's called Hapa. It's R Hapa.
Sounds like it gets fetishy.
Yo, but it's the funniest thing, and maybe like I find it funny because I can afford to. Like it doesn't really hurt me. So like there's this whole like I would call it a meme where it's like if it's like a white guy with a Asian female and they produce an offspring, that kid's gonna be like fucked up, like Elliot Rodger. It's gonna have all sorts of like social disorders because of the context of his birth and whatever. But if it's the reverse,
what do you mean?
Like an Asian male with an what?
Elliot Rodger was based. He was a genius.
Oh well,
modern day savior, hero. We should all look up to him because he stood up.
All right, but you can't say he was a happy guy. He had every opportunity to be happy, but he wasn't a happy guy.
I might be a bit biased because I think he's attractive. That might be, but part
I didn't say he wasn't attractive. All I'm saying is he wasn't happy. Like he clearly was not like positive about living life peacefully. Like clearly,
Well, yeah, because he was a manlet. And I mean, that's it. Like, if we want to use like a black pill ideology to explain it, which is,
how tall was the fucker?
Universally applicable, probably like 5'7" or 5'8".
Oh, he's like Cumtown size.
Yeah. So true genius size, or at least insecure sort of workaholic. But fuck.
I'm pretty much like, I mean, compared to you, dude, I'm pretty much a fucking manly. Like, what are you, like above 6 feet?
Yeah, like 6'2", 6'3", something like that.
Yo, because of you, we will never be friends with Cumtown, because they're gonna look at you and they're gonna be like, look at this fucking tall guy. Like, we don't like him, you know?
Yeah, I can see that happening. Like, they had this one comedian on there. I forget what his name was, but he had like this bit on YouTube about like once you get into your 30s and you're still an alcoholic, it becomes like not a fun hobby. It becomes like a problem that people like will be concerned about for you. And like that was like the main bit that he had. And like he went on Cumtown and he's like 6'4", and everybody was just remarking on his height the whole time. And you could tell there was like some animosity there. And I was just like, wow, that's kind of lame. But I mean,
yeah. How tall do you think Larry David was? Isn't he like a kind of a fairly tall guy?
He's 5'11".
Yo, he's my height. He's like mid. I'm a mid guy.
Fine.
I got a mid everything. I got mid intelligence. I got mid height. I got a mid penis. I got a mid job. Everything about me is just mid. My talent.
Yeah,
my
that's
music.
ideal though. You're like a social chameleon. Just blend in anywhere, except for white people. So, unfortunately, you could get like. I guess that's why you like signed up for like sword classes. You might want to sign up for like Ricer communities on Facebook.
Yo, I mean, I feel like I could be cooler if I was more Asian, like, you know? But I think there's also like a class thing, you know? Like, we just think of like Asians as Asians, but there are rich Asians and there are non-rich Asians, you know, like me.
Yeah,
I'm one of those.
You're not rich?
If I was rich, I'd be going retarded right now, dude. I'd have like an S2000, like souped up and shit.
Well, you wouldn't be angsty enough to do this podcast if you're rich.
No, you're right. If I were rich, though, I would hope that I would still, like... I mean, I'm not saying I'm a smart guy by any means, but I taught myself how to, like, trade stocks, and I made a lot of fucking money off stocks before. Use it to pay down, like, my immense tax debt.
You're not smart. You're just a genius, enterprising person.
I mean, honestly, I'm more of a person who recognized opportunity at the right time. Because, like, I started investing when COVID first, like, blew up, you know? And I was like... And it was fucked up I feel like I was fucked up for that, because I started hearing, like, chatter on the web, you know, about how, like, COVID is going to get bad. It's going to get really, really bad. And I thought to myself, like, how do I benefit off this? Because, like, you know, I was tired of, like, watching these fucking disasters in our country, like, pass by us, and watching some people just exploit it and come out like...
possibly benefit off of it unless you're, like, in charge of, like, a healthcare institution?
So, like, the answer came pretty quickly, you know? I was like, all right, so what's going to happen is if this virus is that bad, the economy is going to fucking shut down and the price of stocks is going to tank. No one's going to buy shit. No one's going to go to restaurants. No one's going to need, you know, like, resupplying or of anything. So I'm like, yeah, everything's going to go way down. So that's when I started Googling, like, how do you buy stocks? How do you invest in the stock market? How do you do this? And I happened to Google it, and it was really fairly easy, because by then I was already a business owner, and my bank, TD Bank, also has like a brokerage, you know, subsidiary, which is TD Ameritrade.
What business do you own?
It's not really a business. It's just because like before I was a business, right? Quote unquote business. I was getting paid to do my job as a contractor. They wouldn't pay me on a W-2. They would put me as a 1099. And that means if you're a 1099, you are an independent contractor, which means you're responsible for your own taxes. So at the end of the year, when I would like file and pay my taxes, I would get raped, literally raped by Uncle Sam for 30% of my fucking income.
So I didn't know what the fuck to... abusing the word literally like that.
I'm sorry. I'll tone it down for you. Well,
no, I mean, like, whatever. When you say you were literally raped, like, and you weren't. I guess it's like an emphasizer, but...
All right. I was financially raped by the IRS for 30% of my income. And that's fucked up. You know, I can only imagine, like, being a person who has to, like, you know, maybe, like, let's say you literally like fucking sustain yourself on like comedy, right?
Hmm.
And you do stand up, whatever, and like you just work as
I'm
a
kinda-
freelance
well, I'm
independent contractor.
Actually, kind of curious. I'll let you finish though.
So imagine you do that, right? And you don't get incorporated. Like you're just trying to like, like collect cash when you can and whatever, like you'll take whatever paycheck. First of all, you could avoid all this if you get paid in cash, but continuing, like
What does your business
You-
produce?
my business is a consulting firm. On paper, I am a consulting firm for administration, business administration.
But what do you do though?
My actual job, like if I wasn't a business owner and I just had this job as an employee for like a corporation, like a normal W-2, I would be considered a network admin. It's admin work,
Okay, so you basically created a business out of just being like a tech support guy.
I mean, that's like not giving tech support enough credit. I mean, like
I feel like
that's giving me too much
I feel like
credit.
it's not giving you enough credit.
What do you
You're
mean?
trying to deflect it because I'm trying to like belittle you by saying that like you're just trying to like big up your position as like a tech support guy by calling it like owning your own firm.
I'm not even a tech support guy, because even those tech support guys, they have certifications like A+ certification, or maybe like a couple of programming languages under their belt or something like that. Like I don't even have that. So basically I was just really good at this one thing, and since it was the context of a very specific, nuanced business, it's not even like you could hire someone with the same credentials, bring him in immediately, and then he'll be able to do the same job I can, like, immediately. No, it won't work like that, because it's like it's like there's a lot of nuances to the position. It's not like
you're irreplaceable, yeah.
I don't even want to call myself like irreplaceable, I mean, clearly I'm replaceable, but it'll be like a very, very, very huge pain in the ass,
Well, I mean, if you own the business, and it's kind of like, you can't really be replaced. Like, once you get replaced, then the business crumbles, or it changes hands. Like, if you sold the business and that's not really being replaced, that's just you selling it.
No, but my business is basically just this one quote-unquote consulting firm that gets contracted by a bigger Jewish loan sharking syndicate of multiple corporations, and they just employ me on a contractual basis, as far as the IRS is concerned, to do their administration work, like every day.
I just want to get right into the nitty-gritty of what you do. Like, what do you do on the computer to do your job? Like, what is it that you do exactly?
All right, I do a lot of jobs, okay? Like, the first my first and foremost job is facilitating, like,
already with the bullshit, like facilitating.
No, seriously, it's facilitating the distribution of contracts to clients, because for in my business, like, which is like basically Jewish loan sharking, literally, like, I'm sorry, I use that word again, I'll stop, but moving forward.
Well, now I feel like you're just harping on the fact that I harped on you about it, so like, it's just like kind of.
No, I'm catching myself.
It's just a recommendation.
Anyway, right? So the only way for these quote-unquote loans to go down, or these deals, these transactions, is purchase of future receivables. The only way that could happen is if we get a signature on a contract, and I write up a lot of those contracts. None of it's my money. I'm just told the terms to put on the contracts. I look at the business information. I compile like the information they put on their application, like their tax IDs, their social security numbers, their void, their routing and account numbers that they want the money wired to and from and pulled from, and I do all that. And on top of that, like, let's say we get a new employee, a new sales rep, right? Mm. They're going to need an email address within our company, and my job is to kind of like set them up, within our domain, so they could pretty much be connected to our domain. They get their own email address. They could receive applications.
You're like a secretary.
Honestly, I think the secretaries work harder than I do.
You're just trying to distance yourself from that because there's a feminine connotation to secretary.
No, I'm serious. The secretary does a lot of bullshit that I just simply fucking don't do. Like, I'm not gonna.
Well, you seem to have a lot of time to post on Facebook all day long, so I mean, you must not be doing.
Well, I mean, how much effort does it really take to fucking post on Facebook, dude? Like, I just like
when I worked at a gas station, I worked at Royal Farms for like 3 months, like a couple years ago, and I had no time whatsoever to check my phone. Like, I'm always doing something, like having to change.
Yeah, but I'm not on my phone. I'm on my computer. I'm on my work computer with 2 monitors, and like I get. not a lot of downtime, but it's like sporadic. You know, like
But
let's
do you
say
have like
like
people
I'll
constantly
have
checking up on you and saying like, yeah, put down your phone, you got to get back to work?
absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not.
Well,
They
well,
know
that's,
better
well,
than
that's
to
a
do that to
privilege
me.
that you have that I didn't. I guess I'm just.
But it but it's like it's more so seniority, you know. I was working with my boss for like what, like 8 years now. Like that's a long fucking time. That's almost a decade, you know, especially for someone my age. Like usually the turnover rate for people between the ages of 25 to 30 is like incredibly high, you know.
Yeah, it's a competitive age bracket. Yeah.
And yet here I am, and I think he just trusts me, you know. Like
Well,
I mean,
it's just,
I never gave him a reason not to trust me. It's not like I care about his money. It's not like I expected to get rich working for him. You know, I'm hired to do a job. I do the job. That's about
you're a
it.
saint. Okay, I feel like I got way too much information out of this than I intended to get. Like, because I forgot what topic I was going to ask you about before that came out right before.
I mean,
this.
when it comes to work, I'm not that like, you know, withholding about information because there's already like Bloomberg articles written about my boss and shit by like investigative journalists. So it's like, what can I possibly hide at this point? It's nothing that, you know, that information isn't already out there where, you know, the relevant
why are you,
people
like,
already don't know
preemptively
about
defending
it.
yourself for being like a potential whistleblower?
No, it's not even like I'm being. It's just it's a thing I've talked about like a few times, especially today, because like, you know, I'm in the Theta Gang Discord chat, and like we talk about money a lot, and I feel like, you know, my industry that I work in is pretty topical in that regard, you know, when it comes to like investing and shit. I mean, basically, it's like, you know, merchant cash advances, instead of like investing in like successful corporations, you invest in failed businesses. And if you don't get your investment back and with interest, then you have the right to like freeze their bank accounts. You know, that's like a little more peaceful than like a gangster that breaks your legs if you don't pay your loan back. You know, like it's like if you freeze a business's bank accounts, you're pretty much
are
like
you
killing their
are you
business.
like a financial custodial service or something? You just like clean up dead and dying businesses?
You know what? That's how, like, I have so many moral conundrums daily. Every time I go into work, I'm like trying to, like, because I have like very ambiguous thoughts about it. On one hand, it's pure evil. It's taking advantage of people's ignorance, stupidity, and whatever. And they would have been way better off if you never ever contacted them. But at the same time, it's like the market kind of needs to shake the board. You know, it kind of needs a device
Hey,
to
it's not
clear
your
out
fault.
like.
You're just a pawn in the system.
No, and you know why I even think about it like this? It's because I'm wondering why every fucking day, why no government, no like fucking like no government agency, no bureaucracy ever thought to shut this down. I mean, there's articles written about it. There's testimonies about how awful like they you know, of an experience they had with it. The district attorney's been involved with like the highest fucking tier, like, you know, loan shark in the industry and all that shit. And yet here it is. It's still fucking there, you know, like. What do I make of that? Like, what could I possibly think? It's basically exactly what Ozark was saying. You know, it's like the most awful people will have the best luck. You know, like it's just the world we fucking live in, and it's insane. I'll show you some of the articles. Like, it literally says like Donald Trump pardons Jonathan Braun, the loan shark, and it's like, holy shit. You know, like.
Like, by all people, do you just mean like people that involve themselves in nefarious lifestyles, or people that have like been involved in them and just happen to be like a kind of like a casualty? Or do you mean like people that just like willingly engage in kind of like surreptitious behaviors?
But you can't even call it nefarious anymore, because I walk into the office and you know what I see? I don't see like what I used to see like 5 years ago, maybe 8 years ago when it first started. I used to see a room full of fucking like ex-convicts, you know, like for, you know, people who just came out of federal prison for like securities fraud and shit. They couldn't work stocks anymore. They had nowhere else to go. So all they had left was this. This was the new thing for them to do. That's what I saw. Now I walk into any given like cash advance office and it's all Jews, not criminals, like honest to God Jews, like Orthodox Jews. They walk in with their yarmulke and they fucking, you know, they keep Shabbos, they eat kosher.
Who balls with that? To like walk into a public establishment with a yarmulke on. Like, everybody else has their hats off, but you can't.
You go to the office, there's like a mezuzah on every door frame, and you know, like it's for real, dude. It's now a Jewish dominated industry.
I'm changing my tune a little bit on your hatred towards them, because if they were Muslims, I could see that, like, because we have kind of like I wouldn't say a problem, but like pretty much the Muslim version of what is happening with you, like over here in Salisbury, in certain neighborhoods, and it's kind of,
you just can't ignore it.
It's just a little uncomfortable because everybody's like wearing the same outfit, and then obviously they're aware of how normal people dress. So it's like you're just intentionally making yourself like this other, and you're just putting everybody on a high alert for no reason.
Exactly. This is what I mean when I'm just like, all right, I gotta fucking compartmentalize, Like when I'm there, I gotta just not say fucking anything about it. I just gotta be like, yeah, this is normal, I'm just going into work. I'm a professional,
And
whatever.
maybe like a lesser version of myself would have said, like, if you learn how to compartmentalize it the first time, then like every subsequent time you enter the office, it shouldn't be a problem. But it's a continual maintenance. Like it kind of wears you down after a while. So yeah.
And it doesn't get easier because the like as the company grows, I'm expected to do more and more, and like my pay raises are getting less and less frequent, compared to like the frequency of my workload increasing. So it's like putting me in this position where it's like, yo, I might really do like a hate crime right now, like.
Oh, really?
No. I'm not like targeting someone specifically because of their like ethnicity. More so just like me being pushed to my like limit. I'm actually lucky that I'm so close to my boss because like I know like if one of the managers are pissing me off, I could just email my boss and I could be like, yo, I'm about to slap the fucking shit out of him. And then my boss would be able to talk me down. He'd be like, yo, don't do anything stupid. Yeah, he's my boss, but at the end of the day, like...
Well, I feel like that's still targeting somebody of a certain ethnicity.
Yeah, but it's not because he's Jewish. It's because he's like... He
just happens to be Jewish.
No, the stress gets to everybody. And like this is why at the end of the day I didn't do it that time. Because like... At the end of the day, like, we're all stressed out. It's not just me. It's everybody, and, like, the way, like, the reason why, what set me off was, like, I was telling him, he just, like, fucking blasted me with, like, request after request after request. And, I have to file paperwork for each request. And then I DM'd him. I was like, yo, are you just, like, letting these requests stack up and then dumping them all on me all at once? And he was like, yeah, but you could do it spread out, though. And I was like, don't fucking do that. Are you fucking kidding me? Why the fuck would you do that? Because that's, like, so stupid,
Because he doesn't care.
And then he was like, yo, calm down. If you want a Xanax, I'll give it to you. And then I was like... I thought I took that as, like, him kind of, like, mocking me, like, and I was like, yo. And he's, like, a manlet. He really is, like, a 5'4" dude. And I was like, yo, I'm about to, like, beat the fucking shit out of him, Like, it was pretty intense.
There's a motorcycle going on outside. Yeah, that does sound intense. Well, I don't know if I would resort to that, just because the guy's like...
No. But I didn't actually do it. Because, like, you're right. Like, that Curb Your Enthusiasm part where the guy, like, fucking, like, slams into the back of the car. You're right. That was fucking unhinged. You can't do shit like that,
Yeah, like, maybe I'm just kind of speaking from my perspective, which is that of a pussy that wants to avoid confrontation whenever possible. So that would... I mean, I don't know why he wouldn't have that same mindset. I mean, I guess he just... felt like entitled to the fact that like you were working there and you should be willing to do your job. And
no. It's like it's just because there's no other way to do it right now. Like the way the business is set up is so fucking stupid. It's like I you know what, I can't even get into the details without just sounding like completely redundant. But like I just want to thank you for inquiring about my employment because we just burned like a quarter of the time we're here. So
we burned a bunch of time. It's like utterly uninteresting to listen to.
I don't know about that. Some people might be interested in it. I mean, the people I talk to on like my Discord channels are pretty fucking interested in it.
Well,
I mean, if you knew the wider context, like before my boss was even into this, like before he was even in this industry, do you know what he was doing before all of this shit?
What?
He was distributing marijuana by like the tons. Like he was facilitating the distribution of it between like countries, like entire supply lines. That's why like when I first met him, he had an ankle monitor, like
That's
a GPS ankle monitor.
House arrest for transporting several tons of marijuana between countries.
Yup, and you know what it was? He was a nice white Jewish boy. He went to federal prison because he didn't go to jail necessarily for the marijuana because he was never seen around the marijuana. Like he was seen around the money. That's why he went away for a conspiracy.
Yeah, well, that'll happen. I mean, this is their reparations, I guess.
Yes, sir. But it's all good, you know. Like in a lot of ways, like I may not dislike him or like him. You know, I could say I'm pretty ambivalent about it. Like we both had our like spats, like we've gotten into physical altercations, you know. But like honestly, I do. I just can't help but respect the guy, you know.
Oh, what, your boss?
Yeah, like he's a fucking sociopath, but you gotta hand it to him, man. He's good at what he fucking does, which is make money.
Yeah, I guess I can see the value in that. If that's your objective in life, is to make as much money as possible, then
I mean, it's not mine. Like that's the thing. Like what really bothers me is just the environment. You know, I'm surrounded by people where that's like their whole existence now is just to make money, and that was never
kind of
my
boring.
thing.
You know, people like revolve their lives around being cryptocurrency scientists and like finding out how like predict the trends and whatnot and like make as much money as possible.
Yeah,
like, they'll post constantly.
But
Like Drew used to be one of those guys. He's like a crypto bro.
But this is worse. This isn't even crypto. This is like preying on like failing businesses. You know, like this is fucking.
You want to get into the moral quibbling about it? I mean, I don't. I leave the moralizing to the philosophers.
At least crypto's cool, man. At least crypto's got the memes. You know.
Yeah, crypto has kind of like a DIY ethos to it that people will latch onto because they think like they can all. We're on an equal playing field. Like anybody can win. It's like the lottery. So and it's like just as likely that you'll make it big on crypto. I mean, there's
I was never.
It is like a zero-sum game. So.
Yeah, I was never into crypto. I was a stock guy. Like I was always into stocks. I never really gave a shit about crypto.
It's like the same thing, like the same idea, pretty much. Like crypto is just, I guess it has like more of a negative connotation because it's like a recent meme that people are kind of like recoiling from.
Crypto is its own thing. I don't fucking knock crypto. I definitely don't disrespect it. It's definitely just not the same kind of idea when it comes to like actual investing within the confines of like the economy that we're living in. Like when it comes to stocks, I look at the stock market like this. It's basically like a casino.
Just binary code
with like
drifting down your face.
It's a casino with slightly better odds, pretty much.
I can get behind that, but it's not as fun as a casino because a casino is like a building and you go in, you can like smoke.
No. A casino. The only thing about a casino that you have to know is that the house always wins, unless you cheat.
You also have to know how to play the games.
Yeah, true. I mean, most people who go to a casino, they don't go to games.
It's not the only
thing
you have to know.
Like,
you have to know like how to inhale and exhale. Oh,
yes,
is that a redundant thing to mention? I mean, you also have to know how to, read people and, use a poker face. I guess I don't know. That doesn't seem.
Yo,
to work
it'd be cool.
It'd
be cool. I bet this exists. This has to exist. Like a fight club, but for chess. It's like they meet up in like an underground basement, and it reeks of like musk and blood. And in the center of like underneath a hanging light bulb, like there's just a table, a singular chessboard, 2 bar stools, like facing each other.
It's like one dangling fluorescent light above it.
And there's like a whole crowd of like drunken sailors and factory workers, like, yeah, let's fucking go, fuck him up.
Warehouse people, like longshoremen, people you would expect to be chess masters.
Yeah, and you got the 2 guys in the middle, and the real entertaining part is they're both retarded. They both barely know the rules of the game, but they're duking it out with everything they fucking got. And there's like bookies there, and there's like tens of thousands of dollars on the line.
Yeah, it could be like a game show.
No, because then it would be corporate. Then it would be like, I'm talking about some real underground chess.
Well, it just seems like it's
I'm
too
gimmicky
for it to be something that people go and attend at like I mean, they have to like wake up at 4 a.m. for their docking job, and it's like 2 a.m. So they're like, yeah, shit.
First rule of chess club, you do not talk about chess club.
So where does the fighting come in? I mean, if it's Fight Club, does the loser just get beaten with reeds or something?
That would be awesome. Like, not only does the winner get the money, but the loser gets the absolute tits kicked out of him, Like, he gets fucked up.
He just gets chess pieces hurled at him as he runs away.
Oh, fuck yeah.
As he leaves the circle, it's like a sumo setup. He has to, like, leave the circle.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think that's what it should be. They should, what you said. That would make for an excellent satirical take on the Fight Club ethos.
An excellent, cancerous, horrible idea that will never work. But, but in theory, it's fun to speculate.
Yo, are you good at billiards?
I'm pretty good at billiards, yeah.
Oh man, that means we got. I'm pretty good at billiards. We got to see who's pretty gooder.
All right, I might give you a run for your money on it. Like, I'm kind of like they call me a hustler. I think that's what they call it. It's like I'll start off like not doing so well, and I don't do it intentionally. I just it takes me maybe like a few shots to get my groove, and then I'm just bang on every shot, and, like doing banks and all that, making like trick shots above, like bouncing the ball over another ball. And like I
see, I'm not good at. I'm not good at. I'm not good at those.
Like, I'm not usually good at sleight of hand stuff. Like I've never been good at like card tricks or anything.
Yo.
So yeah, like I'll play you in billiards. That sounds fun. And oh yeah, that's right. We're supposed to play Among Us after this.
Let's try to. Oh, never mind. I lost you for a second, but
what?
You're back now.
Well, I think Audacity is picking up on it. Hold on, let me see. Yep. So we're good.
All right, cool. By the way, so what I meant to say was that yeah, I'm not really good with the trick shots. Like the bank shots. I'm really good with just like the straight, like, when like let's say like a solid ball is in the middle of the table and the white ball was close to one end and I needed to get it to like the hole at the other end. Like I could get that shot. I'm like the sniper. I could just go beam it.
I told you you'd be good at the last episode where I said you'd be a good sniper because your eyes are close together.
Yep. That's that Asian slant, just like kicking in, and I get tunnel vision, and I'm just like, pew!
Just laser focus on that. Nice.
Yo, Cain, let me ask you something. Are you good at singing? Do you have a singing voice?
Not to toot my own horn, but I think I'm actually, a fairly good singer. I was in men's chorus and chorus choir in high school.
Yo, do you wanna like start a band? Just me and you?
Yeah, let's do a shoegaze band.
Yo, all right, I'm down with that. Can you play guitar?
Yeah, enough for a shoegaze band, which is, you don't have to learn how to play guitar to play shoegaze. You just know how to manipulate the pedals, and you're pretty much good to go.
All right, you play guitar, and I will play the bass.
What about a drummer? We should get like.
We'll use drum loops.
We'll use a Roland. Like what?
Yeah. We'll use a drum machine,
Like that's what a Big Black did. Like back in the 80s, they had this drum machine that they named Roland. That was like what they affectionately dubbed it because that was like the name of the brand, and they would like put hats on it and stuff and like bring it up on stage, and that was their drummer.
Oh, hells yeah!
Or we could get like a hot female drummer that like plays barefoot, and make sure to expose the feet to the audience.
We could honestly just be like. We could just release music as Terrorisk. There's nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to, like, distance myself from Terrorisk. Like, not that it's not, like, a cool portmanteau or anything. And, like, I've heard other people say that it's catchy. Like, people have inboxed me and say that they like the name. And it seems to work for what we do, but I don't think Terrorisk is going to work well for a shoegaze band, Doesn't really fit the vibe.
Okay. All right. No. Okay. So you wanna come up with a cool name? I got a cool name. How about Slip Space?
I'm probably gonna pick a name that you come up with because all of mine are just gonna be like really, like fucking sarcastic and.
All right. Here's a name. What if we called our band Squint?
Squint. Oh, because of the Asian thing. I'm sorry. I can't allow that.
That's really fun. That's a good band name, though. Tell me, Squint isn't a good band name, even outside of the.
It sounds too much like Slint. Like they've already got like Are we going to be capitalizing on people accidentally like spelling it wrong? Oh, what's Squint?
What if we called our band The Slits?
That's a bit, it's a bit graphic for my taste. The Slits.
No, dude. I'm prepared to burn like a whole fucking 15 minutes thinking of a band name. So. Like,
all right.
What if we called her band?
Just a wall, just like looking at things that I see in front of me.
What if we call our band the Dick Suckers?
The Dicks. Yeah, that's really charming.
Imagine being played on the radio. It's like the next band is a local band from Maryland. It's called Dick Sucker.
They're going to be playing the Boston Philharmonic soon. May 22nd.
They won a Grammy. Like,
yeah, the Dick Suckers.
The Dick Suckers. That's our band. No, this is it. This is our band name. We're the Dick Suckers, dude. Like our shoegaze band. Just me, you, and
bigger than the Beatles. The Dick Suckers.
Oh my God, we're the Dick Suckers.
We're gonna show people we don't need a white glove name.
Oh my God. Oh, dude, this is the name of the episode. It's gonna be the Dick Suckers. I hope you know that.
Oh man. Well.
Oh wait, no, it can't be the Dick Suckers. I can't put that on YouTube. It'll get flagged and taken
Will
down.
it?
What if I spelled it differently, like DICCSUCCERS?
Yeah, whatever works. Like DHICC, like ZUK.
And then I'll also add that it's the best shoegaze band in the world, the Dick Suckers.
I'm gonna have to like stop this right here before you actually do that, because you can name the episode that, but I don't want to like name the band that. I don't.
You don't want to join a band called the Dick Suckers, Cain?
You know, fine, whatever.
Don't?
You know, why not?
I'm kidding, dude. I would not.
We'll have it.
Look,
We'll have it embroidered.
I take music.
Have it embroidered on the kick drum.
I take music semi-seriously. Okay, I would not be in a band called the Dick Suckers. I mean,
whatever happened.
I would never say never, but
whatever happened to that band that you were in that girl flaked out on?
Oh my God, yo, that's over. So, wait, I told you about how it ended, right?
Well, wait, I was just like asking if it ended. Like I thought you guys like were kind of like not on speaking terms because she didn't show up.
Yeah, and then I fucking flipped out on her, and I was like, "Yo, fuck you, dude. Delete my fucking number." This goes back to my bipolar shit. Like, I'm pretty sure I have bipolar because the way I reacted in that situation.
Are you referring to the woman as the dude?
What?
Because he said, "Fuck you, dude." But are you talking about the girl?
No, I use dude as a gender neutral term.
I don't.
I call girls dude.
I disagree with that. Like I feel like girls are kind of they're horning in on dude.
Yo, I think it's interchangeable, as in sometimes I use it as a gender term, like, nah, that's a dude. Or sometimes I use it in a non-gender term, like, what's up, dudes? And there could be a girl in the
Have you ever had, like, one of those girlfriends that, like, playfully tries to, like, get you to call them dude? Like, well, just, you know, we're, like, pals. You know, just, hey, dude, you know.
No, never. But I bet you did because you banged that trans man.
And also, I just brought it up. I know that wasn't the reason. It was because I was with this girl that I was engaged to for 4 years and wanted to like call each other dude, and because she wanted to show her liberal friends that we were like very, you know, woke. And I didn't like that. I don't know. Not that I'm like super traditionalist when it comes to like male-female relationships, but I still saw her in a certain light that didn't really warrant the dude label.
Wait. Pump the brakes. Let's back that up. A little bit, like beep beep beep. So you said you're a super traditionalist now?
No, I said I'm not super traditionalist.
Oh, I think you said like because I'm super traditionalist.
I was like just saying like, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm not super traditionalist about it. Like,
no, because I'm fascinated by like traditionalist like values when it comes to like. There's this guy I saw him posting, and like he's the one that made that post, like, you know, like, oh, his mother-in-law was like at his home. And, you know, he was with his wife, and they were eating dinner. And then the mother-in-law was like, you can fix yourself a plate, you know? And he was like, no.
Yeah.
I want my wife to serve me dinner.
I'm not sure if we brought this up earlier on the podcast or if it was just in the chat.
No, we never did. And then, like, he got into an argument with his mother-in-law because she was like, why can't you just do it yourself? And he's like, no, I want my wife to serve me
Yeah, that's
dinner.
a bit ridiculous. That's like taking the trad lifestyle a little bit too far. Like,
I don't know. I don't know why I found that so funny. You know,
like my stepdad is kind of like that, which I just found it amusing because like I would laugh at him when he would do stuff like that, and like he would just get angry.
That's just the gayest shit ever, man.
What? Oh,
I don't know.
People are like possessive.
It doesn't even make you look like a man. It looks like makes you look like a little boy. Like, no, I want my mommy to give me my dinner.
Yeah, just being like overly controlling because like this is the only place that I have control is over the dinner table and where the silverware goes. It's just like so pathetic.
Yeah, like if you have to like say it as an argument like that, it kind of like nullifies your whole manly aspect that you're trying to pull off. Like you should just be like, all right. And then fix yourself a fucking plate. You know, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he wouldn't take too kindly to those words. Those words that would kind of, like, totally defeat his argument, like, before he could even say anything.
Yo, you know what I will give him, though? This guy is, like, ridiculously jacked. So, you know, at least he's got that.
At least he's got that. At least he's jacked. I feel like, no, that's... Yeah. People like twinks and otter red people. Like, I don't think jacked is, like, a very aesthetic physique at all.
No, but like being jacked says something about your character, like especially at that age, you know, like it shows that you have at least some level of discipline, you know, to like
Uh,
warrant you getting that
I
kind of
feel like it's a
physique.
bad kind of discipline, though. It's like the obsessive kind of discipline that is contingent on like
I'm
insecurity.
a real man. I'm a
It's
real
almost indicative of
man.
like body dysmorphia, like somebody that is like never satisfied with their physique. And I don't think that's like one of the core components of like what a person should be. Like personality probably should be the focus, right? Should
Oh, hell's yeah.
it shouldn't be the body. The body should just be maintained, you know, so that you don't die early. And that's pretty much what I do. I just go on like walks, maybe like 4 or 5 times a week.
Well, I like to like improve my body insofar as it'll help me do the stuff that I like to do. You know, like with the sword shit. You know, like
That alone
I
is
can't be like
exercise.
winning. I guess like I just can't win the matches like if I'm like out of shape as shit, you know. I got to like be on point at least to be able to win, you know. And it's not even that hard to win necessarily. Like the sword does most of the work for you, but it's like, you know, the guy you'd be fighting could be like really in shape, and you know, like you don't want to lose just
I
because
mean,
you slap even
you
in
said
your
you got a concussion one time from one of those fights, right?
Yeah, but that's when I was like a newbie, you know. That's when I was like a sick beginner.
But still,
Now, like, I'm
it
more
seems rather
experienced.
dangerous. I mean,
Of course it's dangerous, dude. You're fucking whacking each other with like sticks. Like,
oh, so it isn't a sword. It's you're just hitting each other with sticks.
oh yeah, dude. You think we're gonna be like sparring each other constantly with like live blades?
Well,
Like,
where
they'll
the
kill each
stakes
other.
aren't raised. Like, what's the fun in that? I mean, like, me and my friend Carl, we like grew up. We were like 7 years old. We just hit each other with sticks after school because there's nothing else to do.
Oh no, you just haven't been hitting with this kind of stick. You know, like you haven't been getting the hitting in. You know, like
I
with
don't,
this kind of stick.
my dad
I'll
had
show-
poly sticks. You know what those are?
What?
Well, they're like combat sticks from the Far East. I don't know what country they originated from, but they're like just sticks about like, you know, the rule of thumb thing. They're about
Wait,
the width
so
of the
your-
pu-
so your
about the width
dad-
of a thumb. Yeah,
so-
and he
So your dad hit you with this?
no, he just had them for some reason. I don't know why. I think he like briefly participated in like martial arts and just kept them around the house for self-defense before he. I think like after he got divorced, he tried to. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay,
Yes,
cool.
I can, Cain.
All right.
Yes, I can.
I'm just like looking at the. All right, whatever. But like, yeah, before he got divorced, he was like rather adamant against guns, and like I was with him on that. But after he got divorced, I think, you know, you go through like a midlife crisis, and he bought himself a new car on a whim, and like got a shotgun, and he got rid of it like shortly afterwards. But before that, he had the collie sticks, and those were what he was planning on using to defend the house from, you know, intruders. And we lived in kind of a secluded area. Had like a 5-acre plot of land that was like in the woods, so it's kind of recessed back from the road, and it's in a rural area. So it's, unless it's like a stranger situation, I doubt people are gonna come down our 1,000-foot driveway to like, you know, rob our house of what, like a Vizio TV. I mean, they're gonna have to like haul that all the way back to the pawn shop. So
Okay. Okay.
he was rather accomplished
All
with
right.
them.
No.
Like, at
Yeah.
least when he
I
practiced.
hear you.
Okay,
All
it
right,
sounds like
so
you're
this
trying
guy
to like
kick ass.
put an end to that, but whatever.
No, what I
I'm
was
just
trying to
saying, like,
say
I
is-
have been hit by those kinds of sticks before. Not by him, but like me and my friend Carl got a hold of those sticks and like whacked each other with them just for
No,
fun.
I just want to say, cut for a brief intermission, so I could pee.
All right.
You want to pee too?
No, I'm good. Put on like a music thing, or you'll probably like be right back. So.
No. I'll probably just cut it out. So like by the time I come back, we'll just continue on where we left off. You know.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right, give me a second. I'll be back. I love you.
Love you.
Here we go one more time.
I feel like that.
Everybody's feeling fine.
Marcy's here with me,
What up?
and so yeah, she doesn't have much to say today. I was hoping I could catch her meows on the podcast here. But what I was about to say, that I love you, I said earlier, seemed like really sincere. It's very odd. It's like, I love you.
Nah.
Please return
Yeah,
return
of course,
home
dude.
safe from your voyage.
I'm always sincere about love, man. Love literally is what life is all about. Love is the only thing that makes life worth living, straight up. Everything else is like pointless. Like, what is it? Money, material goods, like fucking, you know, status, fame. No, that's all bullshit. Love, though, love is pure.
All you need is love.
Love for your cat, love for your homies, love for your podcast, love for Terrorisk, love for our Patreon. Donate to our Patreon. Help keep us going.
Donate to my
help
Venmo and Cash App. I'll provide those in the comments later.
Help Cain get out of squalor. Help me get out of my job working for corrupt Jewish loan sharks. Help us, just help us improve our lives, and we will give you improved content. We'll talk about what we do in Spain. You know, when we go to Spain, we go to Ibiza. You know, Ibiza Music Festival. You know, we'll do that shit, and then we'll take pictures and we'll post it, and me and Cain will like suck each other's dicks. Now we won't do that.
I'll take pictures of the architecture. It'll be very cute. It'll look like I'm leaning on the building from it's behind me, when really I'm not. It's just a camera trick.
We'll go to Machu Picchu, and you got to do this because we're both like our clocks are ticking. You know, we're gonna be dead pretty soon. I don't think me and Cain and I.
Don't say that.
I don't think Cain and I are the type of but it's true. I don't think we're the type of guys that are gonna expect to live past 45.
Well, don't.
You know, like I don't.
I want to live to at least 60.
Oh yeah. That's right. You're like Larry David or Jerry Seinfeld, right? You're like
What?
you're gonna.
What? So you have to be one of those two guys to be health conscious?
No, you have to be one of those guys to be pickled by misery and just live for way too long.
I don't think
you know,
60 is way too long. Like 45 seems rather short. Don't Asians live a long time anyway? Like, you're probably gonna live longer than me.
Maybe. You know what? You might be right about that. I do have a lot to do when I'm old. Like, I got sword things to teach the kids. Like, I'm an old man and I'm a fucking beast with a sword. I'll fucking
You'd
kill
be like
you.
You'd be like an old Zen master, just like handing out life lessons.
Hells yeah. I don't plan to stop with the sword shit. Like, yeah, it's a meme right now, but in like, you know, I've already been doing this at it for like almost 5 years now. In another 5 years, it'll be serious. And 10 years after that, it'll be very serious. By the time I'm 80 and I keep doing it, dude, I will be unstoppable. I will fucking kill people. I mean, I wouldn't really kill people, but, you know, I could if I wanted to.
You'd be like Chairman Netero from Hunter x Hunter.
I never saw that. You do reference that. It's like one of the only animes you ever really seem to like.
Well, it's one of the only animes I've watched to completion that has like over 100 episodes. Yeah, like with shit like Bleach and Naruto, I could never finish it because like you get.
What about Shaman King?
Halfway through, and then you forget what you watched at the beginning, and you're like, oh, shit, I gotta go back and refresh. Wait, what'd you say?
I think you would like Shaman
King. What's that about?
It takes place in this world where you have people that could commune with dead spirits. You know, like the spirits of the dead.
Sounds like Mushishi.
Yeah, but in this show, like they have this tournament, right? Every X amount of years, right? And whoever wins this tournament gets to fuse with the spirit of like, what is it, like the world or some shit, the world spirit, the god spirit, and then they pretty much become like the god, you know. And like people in history who have like won this tournament, you know, it's implied that it were people like Buddha or Jesus, you know, like they were shamans who won this tournament. And like basically it's about this one kid who teams up with this
like a more wholesome version of the Dark Tournament from Yu Yu Hakusho, because like
I love Yu Yu Hakusho. That's such a good fucking show, man.
Dude, like the Dark Tournament arc. Like, oh my god. Classic. I can rewatch that later.
That shit was brutal. I remember being a little kid and seeing that on Adult Swim, and I was like, whoa, this is on Cartoon Network.
Yeah, the guy just stabbed his fingers through somebody's head. My god. It's 9 p.m. But it's like a cartoon, so I guess. And it was like one of those things that like parents weren't really aware of. They're like, oh, he's watching cartoons, it's fine. So it was like a secret little activity that you had to yourself that was like kind of adult and transgress. Everybody knows this, kind of trite to say, but whatever.
Yeah, Adult Swim was basically the first to like meme on television, you know?
Yeah, with like, what was that guy? That was like the robot guy in the spaceship. He had like the
Space Ghost, Coast Ghost.
He was like the guy. It was a Toonami thing, like the Toonami mascot.
Oh, fucking Tom.
Yes. Yeah, I can't. Oh man.
Yeah. Toonami was the shit. That was the tits. Toonami was where I first saw Gundam, and that was awesome. Gundam Wing, you can't forget about Gundam Wing. I
wasn't really
like one of the
fan of the mech shows, to be honest.
No, but it was cool because like in the very beginning, like you had the girl, you know, the female heroine of the show, goes up to the protagonist and she's like, hands him an envelope. I just want to invite you to my birthday. And then he like takes the envelope, rips it in half, throws it, And then she's like crying, and she's like, "But why?" And then he like wipes the tear from her eye, and then like walks past her, and he goes, "I'll kill you," and he just walks away. And I was like, it's like awesome, like dude, so
Have
fucking
you ever
good.
seen that show, Code Geass? Code Geass.
Yes. Yeah. Gundam Wing was definitely a precursor to Code Geass.
I think Code
like,
Geass kind of improved upon it.
Code Geass fucking perfected it, dude. Code Geass
And they
is
incorporated
perfection.
all those chess motifs.
Dude, it tugged on all the right heartstrings. Like, it was cerebral and it was emotional. Code Geass is like one of the greats, and it's like a sleeper, you know, like you scroll past it and you're like whatever, but when you watch it you're like fuck.
The first
man.
time I got into it, I could not stand Suzaku. I was like, what a fucking sanctimonious, self-righteous twat to be
Yeah, but then you realize he didn't really have it easy either, you know.
Yeah, but still, like Lelouch, he was cool because he was goth. And he looked like me. I didn't look like Suzaku. I looked more like Lelouch. And Lelouch was like, he was the chaotic evil guy. Like, that's the fun thing to be. You know, I mean, he was the champion of the underground. And what, Suzaku was like the enforcer of the status quo. Like, who can get on that side? And that's like such a boring.
Yeah,
boring
Suzaku,
position.
he was a fucking Boy Scout, and he was probably getting butt fucked by his colonist overlords. He was like, oh yes, I am now
I feel like
a part of the empire.
His motives
Like,
weren't selfish enough for me to relate to.
but Lelouch wasn't selfish at all. Lelouch was
Well,
the even arguably more selfless than, you know, that other goody
another
two-shoes
angle is
guy.
that they were both equally selfish, and they just used like whatever reasons they could to justify their pursuit because they just happened to end up in those situations. Like Lelouch just happened to end up on the wrong side of like civil unrest that was going on at the time, and also it was just like a neat contrast between like, and was Suzaku supposedly like just as intelligent, because like Lelouch is supposed to be like a mastermind of battle strategies, and
I think Lelouch was more of
he's like
the tactician, the
where
strategist.
Suzaku is more of like a
and
warrior.
like yeah, he's like the barbarian, you know, like the dumb gun. He's like, yeah, I do good. I mean, I do love him. I do love him though. He's the best boy, you know. And Lelouch is the one like we all can never forget deep in our hearts, you know, even long after he's dead.
Well, Lelouch
Like,
is the main character, so I mean, there is a way to, you know, it's hard not to relate to the main character because that's who you're seeing on screen most of the time.
yeah. It's interesting that like, you know, like you thought of like Code Geass after mentioning Gundam Wing, because it does kind of like tug on all that, but Gundam Wing was too bombastic, you know. It was too like it was too like
too
almost
gaudy.
like Marvel-y, you know. Yeah, it was too gaudy, whereas Code Geass was like pretty deep, you know. It wasn't deep in like so much
wasn't
of
like
like,
deep in
you
a
know,
Steins
the
Gate way.
technicalities.
You know, it was just deep in its own, you know, unique kind of twist on the mech genre, and I think it was probably the standout of its, you know, of the whole genre. To be honest, like people love Neon Genesis Evangelion, but dude, like the hype totally ruined it for me because I went in expecting it to be like the best anime of all time, and I was just completely underwhelmed. I don't know why people like it so much.
Wait, which one were you
Neon
talking
Genesis Evangelion, like, is it Evangelion or Gellion?
about? Oh no, dude! That show. I feel bad for the creators of that show, man. Like the way I see it, it's like it was supposed to be its own isolated thing, you know, that first run, and it was supposed to provide comfort for a very specific, nuanced, awkward point in everybody's lives, you know.
Like,
But what
welcome
happened
to the
was.
NHK.
But what happens is that shit got just taken way overboard, and people became obsessively fixated on it. And what
Spawned
happened
like
was
a
the creators.
whole revolution of memes.
Yeah, on top of the memes, it also spawned something even more horrific and
Which
terrible.
was?
It spawned a shitty reboot. You know, like that new run of movies. You know, that shit is not good. That shit
that's geared
sucks.
towards the original fans of the series. So if you weren't a fan initially, like, why would you even go and try and like see?
I think plenty of people who are original fans of the series would see this.
You know, it would be a good idea for
this
like
is garbage,
one of these,
bro. This is fucking
no,
trash.
for like one of these like Carico sessions. It would be a good idea to like watch one of these live action animes, like fucking like Death Note. like the live action version of Death Note. Like that'd be funny to pick
Yo,
apart and
I'm a
dissect.
huge fan of Rurouni Kenshin. And I only mentioned Rurouni Kenshin because very few live action adaptations get away with like, actually like doing justice by the source material and not looking retarded. Like Rurouni Kenshin actually did it really good.
I never
my
watched
opinion.
that show actually.
It's pretty good. I think. I mean, I guess I'm biased in a way. I could say like, oh, because I do sword, like I like it. But I remember watching it as a little kid and being really into it. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's like a solid series.
From what I hear, it's
like Yu Yu Hakusho kind of
it's
good.
like
you know,
universally acclaimed
it's like-
critically. Like my friend Brian is trying to turn about it.
yeah, the one wrinkle in that whole
Hmm.
thing is that I think the creator or the lead animator or something was like a pedophile. Like they got caught with like a lot of child porn.
Really? That seems to happen to like everybody
Yeah,
these
yeah.
days.
Yeah, I mean it's an epidemic, dude. People are just getting hooked on the CP.
You should go to rehab for it.
There should be a kind of rehab for child porn addicts. I mean, it's not their fault. They're pedophiles.
Yeah. I mean,
All right,
it's-
wait. So like, all right. So how do you want to close off this episode? Because we got a couple of minutes before we got to get into the premium content.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna sit up for the premium content. I laid down for the first episode.
All right. So first of all, we want to say thank you for listening and rest in peace, Jay, our co-host. But we'll try our best. We'll do you proud. What do you have to say, Cain, to sign off?
Well, please buy our premium content because I feel like nobody is listening to it, and it's like half of the stuff that we didn't, and it's pretty much the best content
Well-
is like never seeing the light of day. So
Well. I mean, to be fair, like. I mean, all right.
I'll take the
actually,
role
not even to
of
be fair.
beggar
Just to ask, I just want to ask your opinion. I think this episode went pretty good. What do you think?
I think we like gained some good momentum there in the latter half, but I think I don't know, like you vented about your job a little bit, but that's like
No. First of all, I'm also about to hit the second half of the Jameson bottle. So anyway, I'm gonna cut. Ready?
All
3,
right.
2, 1, cut.